Hi everyone, and welcome to another class with me, Stephanie, here at Linguistiko. This class is called the Gerund, and it is for advanced students because we are just going to be doing a lot of grammar in this class, and some of it is quite complicated. So we're going to have to talk about prepositions and adjectives and adverbs even, in this lesson, and I don't have enough time to go over what everything is, so I have to assume that the students just know what these words mean and what parts of speech everything refers to and what parts of speech a specific word is, etc., so that we can study gerund, get some useful information from this lesson, and be able to apply it to our own sentences, whether spoken or written. So anyhow, the gerund in English for non-native English speakers can be quite complicated. I've been studying this, reading about this, watching videos on this, just because I want to be prepared to talk about it. And what I think is going to be easiest in this class is to do kind of like a group study. I don't just want to teach and say, boom, boom, this is how it is, and that's that, just because I think that learning should be a little bit more hands-on. Otherwise, sometimes the information doesn't sink in. So with that being said, I'm going to share a bunch of websites. We're going to go over things together. We're going to investigate as a team, and the students are going to help me come up with new examples for everything. So that's how we're going to roll. Hi, Fabricio. How are you today?
Hi, I'm fine, and you?
Great, great. Hey, I don't think I was able to write back to you the other day, but I'm glad you're leaving a lot of feedback on all my classes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yes, and I think that you left feedback saying something about an elevator in a class. I didn't understand what you meant by that.
Okay, because I watched some videos on YouTube about an elevator pitch. It's kind of a technique to give a successful speech to, for example, your boss in order to promote some idea you have, but you only have the time of an elevator going from um, the base floor to maybe the floor where your company is. So you
Oh,
almost have that time
that's
to
very
give your speech.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Um,
Hey, if you want, go ahead and you can send me some of those YouTube videos and I can check them out and maybe I can make a class based on that. I think it's a very interesting idea.
okay, okay,
Great. By the way, I just designed a class that sounds pretty similar. It's called Short Responses. We won't be doing it this week, but next week we will be doing it. And basically, it just has to do with speaking clearly and concisely and being able to give short responses. Because I think a lot of times when we try to express ourselves in foreign languages, we give such long responses because we aren't sure, if people are understanding us. So we say, well, it's like this, but it could be like this, and then things get confusing. So in that class, we're going to practice giving short responses to kind of some deep or profound questions, just to work on that. So it's kind of similar to your idea. But anyhow, I'd be interested in seeing some videos from the elevator idea. All
okay.
right, great. Okay, and so today in class we got a lot of work to do. We're going to be learning about the gerund, and we're going to be doing some simple stuff, some more advanced stuff. I want to move through it quickly, but I also want to give some time for students to practice. But my main focus on this class is getting through the information and providing lots of resources for the students to continue this investigation on their own. Because honestly, in 1 hour, it can be quite difficult to get through everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you the first link to the first website that we're going to go over. Everything in this website is very clean cut, simple, easy to understand. And here is the link. Well, one second. There we go. This is the link. So go ahead and open it, and we are going to get started already. And if another student joins, we'll just let them jump right in with wherever we are at, okay?
Okay.
All right, so do you have the link open?
Yes, I have.
Great. Okay, so we are going to read through this together, okay? So the ing forms. I'm going to start and I will read the part that has a white background and you will read the part that has a blue background. So basically you will be reading the examples, okay? All right. A verb ending in ing is either a present participle or a gerund. These two forms look identical. The difference is in their function in a sentence. So present participles. A present participle is most commonly used as part of the continuous form of a verb, after verbs of perception, after verbs of movement, or as an adjective. Present participles as part of the continuous form of a verb. Present participles are an element in all continuous verb forms, past, present, future, conditional, etc. The helping verb will indicate the tense, while the present participle remains unchanging. Okay, so go ahead and read those examples.
Okay. He's painting, she was waiting, they will be coming, we would be staying, I would have been living.
Good. Okay, so basically I want you to summarize what I read and the examples and explain these examples that are given. What are we looking at here?
We are looking at continuous action in a situation.
Good. Exactly. And these ing forms of the verbs, are these gerunds or present participles?
Present participle.
Good. And why is it difficult to sometimes identify a present participle from a gerund? Does the question make sense?
Yes. Here it says that yes, but I cannot explain it.
Okay, that's okay. It has to do with the first sentence I read. At the very beginning, it says a verb ending in ing, running, jumping, swimming, riding, is either a present participle or a gerund. These two forms look identical. So that's why they are difficult to identify sometimes, like whether it's a present participle or a gerund. It could get quite confusing. So that's why we're taking a look right now at the differences. So if you'll scroll through this form a little bit in bold letters or in bigger letters, you'll see present participles, and then it says present participles as part of the continuous form of a verb. Then it says present participles after verbs of perception. Then it says present participles after verbs of movement, and we're going to go through these examples, and if you keep scrolling down, then it says gerunds, okay? And it says a gerund as the subject of the sentence, a gerund after prepositions. So basically, by the time we read through this entire document, this entire web page, you are going to understand how sometimes these ing verbs how they form either present participles or gerunds, what's the difference, and how to do it in your own writing and speaking. So yes, this is a grammar-heavy class right now. Let's go ahead and read through present participles after verbs of perception. It says, present participles can be used after verbs of perception in the pattern verb plus object plus present participle to indicate the action being perceived. Okay, so what do they mean by that? Let's look at these examples. Go ahead and read them.
Okay. We saw him swimming across the pond. I watched her painting Sarah's portrait. I couldn't hear her singing because of the noise. I would like to see you knitting sometime.
Good. Good. So let's take this first sentence. We saw him swimming across the pond. Now look at the top where it says verb plus object plus present participle. So the verb is saw, the object is him, and the present participle is swimming. Okay? So after verbs of perception. Good. Do these examples make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. Let's move on. Present participles after verbs of movement, action, or position to indicate parallel activity. Examples.
She sat looking at the sea. He walks reading his newspaper. I cooked listening to the radio. Sally lay listening to the bugs in the grass.
Good, good. Okay, do these examples make sense?
Yes.
Good. So when I was taking a class a couple years ago here in Argentina, that was a translation class, they explained to us how these sentences in English, they cannot be translated directly into Spanish because in Spanish, this is not how they are formed. You can't basically say she sat looking at the sea. You would have to say something like she sat and looked at the sea. So anyhow, since I know you are a Spanish speaker, I want to take 1 more minute on these examples, and I want to have you make a couple sentences of your own. Okay, so she sat looking at the sea. He walks reading his newspaper. I want you to make a sentence with the same structure that you see here. And you don't have to write it. This is just a speaking exercise.
I study watching videos on YouTube.
Good, good. 2 more sentences.
I walk the dog, taking care of what's going on the street.
I walk the dog, paying attention to
Okay.
what is going on the street. Good. Okay, 1 more.
Sometimes I watch movies reading subtitles.
Good. So when you form these sentences, do they sound natural to you or do they sound strange? Do you actually use sentences like these when you speak English?
No, I think that most of the time I use something like while doing something instead of just saying all together the two verbs.
Okay, well this is a good one then for you to write in your notes and to practice because we use these kinds of sentences all the time. And just know that these examples, they're all going with verbs of movement. So so any verb that has to do with movement. I walk looking at the sky. I read sitting on the ground. Anything that has to do with movement. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so we're going to move on. Present participles as adjectives. Go ahead and read these examples.
Okay. Did you read that amazing book? This movie is so exciting. His economics class is boring.
Good. Okay, so this one is pretty simple. I'm pretty sure you already use present participles as adjectives in your everyday English speech, correct?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so underneath you can see a link that says read more about using present participles. We are not going to do this, but I just want you to be aware that it's there so you can further study on your own after if you are interested. So we have finally got to gerunds, which is what we really want to go over in this class. It says the gerund always has the same function as a noun, although it looks like a verb. It can be used in the same way as a noun. So a gerund as the subject of the sentence. Go ahead and read these examples.
Okay. Eating people is wrong. Driving too fast is dangerous. Walking is good for you. Your knitting is beautiful.
Good. So these eating, driving, walking, and your knitting, these are all used as subjects of the sentence. Let's practice this. Go ahead and give me a sentence using a gerund as the subject of the sentence.
Okay. Running is good for your health.
And one more.
Doing your homework is good for your career.
Good. Yes, it is. All right, good. Okay. Now read the examples for a gerund after prepositions.
Can you sneeze without opening your mouth? She's good at painting. I was the fastest at climbing the rope. He learns music by listening to the chords.
Good. Okay. Now, okay, before I ask you this, go ahead and make an example similar to this. I advise you to think first of a preposition and then add a gerund and then make your sentence, rather than trying to think of what sentence am I going to make. First pick a preposition, add a gerund, and then make your sentence.
Okay. I cannot go out without leaving home.
Okay, good. Okay, one more.
I've been learning English by talking to strangers or natives.
Good. Awesome. Okay, now we have a gerund after certain specific verbs. Read these examples.
Okay. I like cooking. He enjoys walking. They hate milking cows. I can't imagine drifting away in a balloon.
Good. Good. So I'm sure you're very familiar with these ones. You know also that we can also say I like to cook. We don't just have to say I like cooking. We can't say I enjoy to walk. So some of these are able to go with the infinitive and some are not. But we're not actually going to study that. I was just making a point. Okay, and the last example, a gerund in compound nouns. Go ahead and read these examples.
I took her to her driving lessons. We're going to the swimming pool. My uncle does a lot of bird watching. I found this pipe by dumpster diving.
Good. Okay, so you'll notice in the last two that we use something called a dash, okay? Because a lot of times when you have two nouns side by side, but they are not, it's not a compound word. A compound word is like two words put together, like a watchdog, you know. It doesn't actually form a compound word, but if you have them side by side without a dash, it looks funny. So that's why we have the dash there. Okay, so go ahead and click on the link under that says to look up more. It says read more about using gerunds. Let's click on that.
Okay.
Good. And I just want you to take a minute to browse through this page and read the examples, okay? So browse through it, look through it, and then I have a question for you. Take your time.
Okay, I read it.
Good. Okay, so now that you've read through this, were there any examples that were new for you?
Yes.
Okay, tell me which one was new for you, or which ones were new for you.
When it says the gerund after phrasal verbs, the one I didn't know was, well, I didn't know the rule. I
Mm-hmm.
learned this by heart. Maybe when you write kind of a letter, you have to write in the latest paragraph. I look forward
Mm-hmm.
to hearing from you soon, and that's something that I learned by heart.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so this one was new for you. Was there any specific sentence in the examples that you thought, oh, that's how you do it?
um, Yes, I mean all of the examples are
Okay.
good for me.
Okay, good. Okay, so since this is new for you, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do an exercise that is specific to this since it's new for you. This is the exercise. Basically, you have to create 5 sentences using this same format, okay, but they all have to be different from the sentences that you see here. So you have to use a phrasal verb, okay, and then you have to include a gerund. So use the formula, the phrasal verb plus the gerund. Okay, and I
Okay.
want this time, instead of just speaking these sentences, I want you to write them in the chat, okay, so we can look at them. And then I have some questions for you. So go ahead, take your time.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm having kind of a problem with the latest one because I don't really get the meaning of to take to something. I mean, I don't know if it is that she's not going to start studying English or.
I'm sorry, say that again?
The example says she didn't really take to studying English.
Oh, okay. Take to something means wasn't very good at it or didn't really like it.
Okay.
Like it didn't really interest her, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let me take a look. Okay, I look forward to seeing you after the holidays. Good. I didn't understand this word. I am used to being delayed at what?
Queues, when you have to wait at the supermarket bus stop. There is a
Oh.
queue.
Oh.
People being
Um,
kind of
I
route.
am I'm absolutely unfamiliar with this word. I don't even use it. I couldn't have told you what it is. So you're teaching me a new word over here. I'll have to look this up later. I don't know. Maybe they use it in other countries, but either I'm ignorant or we just don't use it.
I don't know. It's common for me because of some subjects at university are based on queues. When you have to program something, or maybe you talk about simulating some things, you
But
work with
you
queues.
talk about this in English in the university?
We use this term in English, yes, because most of the programming frameworks are in English. So the structure
Ah,
are in English.
maybe that's why. Maybe it's like a computer word, and maybe that's why I'm unfamiliar with it.
Yes, it could be. It could be.
Okay, cool. Okay. I didn't really take to playing football. Good. Except there's a missing period, but it's good. When will you get around to doing the dishes? Good. I am accustomed to learning by watching rather than reading. Very good. Very good. Okay, so did you find this exercise easy or difficult?
Medium, I mean, yeah.
Okay, good. Um, Here in this, 1 hour class, we are not going to be able to perfect this by any means, but my goal here is just to expose you to the general and the advanced uses of the gerund so that you can be aware of it when you're reading and be like, oh, there's a gerund. This is how they use it. They're using it with a preposition, or this is not a gerund. This is a past participle, etc. So yeah, to be aware of it. But when it comes to speaking, obviously, we're not thinking too much about grammar. We want things to come out naturally. So very good. So now I have another website to share with you, but I want to ask you something. Do you understand more when you read by yourself or when we read together?
Um, if I follow you while reading, then I will understand more. I mean,
Okay.
if you're reading and I'm just looking out of the screen, then it's not going to be the
Okay,
same.
so you want us to read together, but how? You want me to read and then you follow along, or do you want to interact and read as well? I'm curious.
Yes, I think that switching could be good.
Okay, good. I'm asking, normally I have like a structure from my class and I just do it how I planned, but since we're the only ones here in class, and in the interest of time, I just want to know what would benefit you the most. So we'll do that then. I'm going to share another website. It has some of the same information, it never hurts to repeat, but it also has some new information. So we're going to do that now, okay?
Okay, okay, and I have to tell you that I have to go in almost 10 minutes because I didn't plan to stay for the whole class because
Oh,
I have
okay.
to play paddle, or kind of a tennis match, let's say.
That's
So,
very ironic. That's very ironic. You're going to see why when you open up this website. So open it up, and it's very ironic.
oh my God, what a coincidence.
It's like I knew. Okay, so since you have to go in 10 minutes before we start, I have a lot more material, and I was going to ask the students if they would be likely to study outside of this class. Do you see yourself, if I send you more websites and a couple videos, do you think you're actually going to read it, or did you just want to join this class to learn a little bit in this class?
And if the material includes videos, then I will do it because that catch my attention more.
Okay. Okay, so let me send you a couple videos from YouTube. I mean, again, it goes over some of the same information, but sometimes hearing it and having a visual is helpful. So there's one video. We don't have enough time for everything. Here's another video. I'm about to send it. And here's some more information. Now, this isn't a video, but it's not very long either, this website. This is another thing we were going to go over. And I have one more. Sorry, I'm sending you a lot of stuff. I just wanted the students to have materials. Okay, the last website that I'm sending you, there's like 20 lines to read, and it's common errors in the use of gerunds. So this is going to be really interesting for you to read, and I have to warn you, it's also pretty advanced, which is fine. You know, you'll be able to understand it. So anyhow, those are all of the resources. If you want to take a look, go ahead. If not, I mean, no pressure. But let's go and look at that website now with the tennis racket and tennis ball on it. Okay, and we will skip through it because you don't have a lot of time. Tell me, you have to go at the 45, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to skip the first part because this just has to do with what we already went over. Playing tennis is good for your health and good fun, etc., when you use it as the subject of the sentence. Then we have prepositions and English gerunds. So we were already learning about this as well. Example, I looked into buying a new computer. Sally was afraid of walking alone in the dark. So next page, 2. Okay, there are many verbs that are always followed by the gerund form. Here are some of the most important. Okay, so these are good to memorize, basically. So go ahead and read the examples.
Okay. He avoided paying late fees on the account. She denied knowing anything about the crime. I postponed making a decision until Monday. She regrets not studying French in college.
Good. Okay. And then there's a link. Notice the negative gerund form. We're not going to go over that, but it's a good one to check out later. Let's go to the next page. Adjective combinations and gerunds.
Okay.
Good. So it says, gerunds also follow common adjective plus preposition combinations. Remember that prepositions are always followed by the gerund form. In other words, any adjective plus preposition form you learn will always be followed by the gerund if used in combination with a verb. Here are some of the most common adjective plus preposition combinations. So they say accustomed to, afraid of, bored with, concerned about, etc. Go ahead and read the examples.
She's interested in taking French lessons. The man was found guilty of committing the crime. Tom is proud of donating his free time to the charity.
Good. Good. And next page, phrasal verbs and gerunds. Go ahead and take a look at that. It says gerunds are used with phrasal verbs that end in prepositions. Phrasal verbs are verb phrases which are made up of 2 or more words, blah, blah, blah. You know that already. Go ahead and read the examples.
The coach called off practicing for the day. Tom looked into finding a new job. She took a long time to get over losing her dog.
Good, good. Okay, so later if you want to look into that more in-depthly, go ahead. We have a few more minutes, so I would like to go over the common errors with you. Let's read those sentences. And we won't explain anything, we'll just read them. So open the last link that I sent you.
Yes.
And the interesting thing about this is that even native speakers make these errors. So that's why I said this is very advanced, because this is something that's even helpful for native English speakers. So I am going to read the incorrect form of the sentence, and you will read the correct form, okay?
Okay.
Okay. They were counting on me helping them.
They were counting on my helping them.
Good. They insisted on me resigning the post.
They insisted on my resigning the post.
Good. So those first two that we went over, I must say that this is a common mistake for native speakers. Okay, so let's go ahead. Gerunds should be used with possessive pronouns my, your, and her, and not object pronouns me, him, etc. Note that this rule is not strictly observed, especially in the case of proper nouns. Okay, incorrect. I am thinking to write my autobiography.
I am thinking of writing my biography.
Good. Incorrect. The clever girl was confident to win the first medal.
The clever girl was confident of winning the first medal.
Good. Incorrect. I am hoping to secure a loan to build my house.
I am hopeful of securing a loan to build my house.
Good. I'm not sure if I said hoping or hopeful. I may have read that wrong.
Okay.
Okay. Certain verbs and adjectives are followed by a preposition plus gerund. Examples are think, desirous, despair, fond, confident, prevent, abstain, refrain, prohibit, etc. So incorrect. To die with honor is better than living with dishonor.
To die with honor is better than to live with dishonor.
Good. So basically they wanted to maintain the structure to die with, to live with, rather than to die with and then living with. Good. Alice likes singing, dancing, and to paint. That's incorrect.
Alice likes singing, dancing, and painting.
Good. Your writing will be clearer if you use parallel structures in both clauses. Incorrect. There is no hope of the fog's lifting.
There is no hope of the fog lifting.
Good. The possessive case should not be used with the gerund when the noun denotes a lifeless thing. So as you can see in this short web page, there's quite a lot here to study and to remember. So anyhow, thank you for joining class. I know you have to go now. Feel free to leave feedback, and yeah, I hope to see you soon in more of my classes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your
Yes, have
tips.
a good time playing tennis.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, and so now I will continue by reading some more examples, and by maybe I'll share my screen and we'll read through something together. Okay. Class is not over yet. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to read something more specific. This says impersonal subjects, gerund, and it plus infinitive. Okay, so it says compare these two sentences. Studying English is sometimes boring, and it is sometimes boring to study English. Both of the sentences are used to make general statements about an activity, studying English. Here is an overview of the two forms. Gerund plus object plus to be conjugated plus adverb of frequency plus adjective. Now, something like this, you guys, can get really complicated just by looking at that, and it's like, what? So that's why in these classes we break it down, and I send you the information so that way you can practice making your own sentences later as well. So examples. Playing tennis is excellent exercise. So let's break this up the way that they showed us. Okay, so gerund is playing, plus object, that's tennis, playing tennis, plus to be verb is to be verb conjugated, plus adverb of frequency is excellent, plus adjective exercise. Okay, that to me that doesn't match up quite well. Reading English newspapers is often difficult. Okay, this one seems to be more, well, easy to understand. So gerund, reading, object, English, to be conjugated, reading English newspapers. Oh, English newspapers is the object, is, and then adverb of frequency, often, and then adjective, difficult. Good. Then we have down here it plus to be conjugated plus adverb of frequency plus adjective plus infinitive. So it is sometimes exciting to walk in the pouring rain. So it, and then to be conjugated, is adverb of frequency. Sometimes you could say it is always, it is often, etc. And then adjective, exciting, plus infinitive, to walk in the rain. And then the in the rain is just something added to the end. Here we have, it was strange to say that Russian is easier than English. Huh, I wonder if that's true. Okay, two perceptions. The phrase it is worth and it is no use take the gerund, not the infinitive form. It is worth slash it is no use plus gerund plus object. So examples, it is worth driving to the lake to have a look around. It is no use studying for the exam, for this exam. So these are phrases that you just have to memorize. And when we study them like this in such a grammatical context, it gets really how do I say this? Like tiresome. You know, you kind of look at this and some people go, it doesn't make sense. I don't want to study grammar. So I get it. If you don't like this kind of class, like I totally get it if you don't like heavy grammar classes. In this class, yeah, I know, I'm doing a super heavy grammar class, but there are two ways to teach this. You could teach it using all of these grammatical words, or you could give a sentence like saying, like, it is worth driving to the lake to have a look around, or it is no use studying this exam, and then you could just have students make their own sentences. So I could say, okay, everybody make a sentence that starts with, it is no use, and then everybody would say, it is no use studying for this exam, it is no use driving 1,000 miles just to go see the beach. It is no use to try and fix the car because it's too expensive. It's no use. Oh, sorry. It is no use fixing the car because it is too expensive. See, even I said it incorrectly. That's the tricky thing about these gerunds and about grammar. You know, that even if English is your native language, it doesn't mean you speak it perfectly. I mean, there is so much to learn, and a lot of people study English in college, a lot of native English speakers. So you can just imagine how complex the language is. Okay. So now we have a quiz. Change the sentences from the original to the other similar structure. Click on the next page for the answers. Examples. It is sometimes easy to forget your cell phone number. Forgetting your cell phone number is sometimes easy. So let's see this. Playing chess requires great concentration. It is sometimes easy to forget. Playing chess requires great concentration. How would we change this? What do you think? Take a little while to look at it. Read through these examples and see what you would guess the correct way to for them to be written. Good. So basically, if you have a sentence that starts with a gerund, like forgetting your cell phone, you need to put it into this form. It is. And if you have a sentence that begins with it is, you need to put it into the gerund form. Okay, so I'm going to give about 4 more minutes for this exercise to be completed, and then we will go over the answers. Okay. Okay, so now let's go to the second page and we are going to review the answers. Okay. So here are the original sentences and the answers. Playing chess requires great concentration. And down here you can see the answer, sentence changes. It requires great concentration to play chess. Number 2. It is not easy to learn Chinese. Answer, learning Chinese is not easy. 3. It is difficult to understand the motives of many politicians. Understanding the motives of many politicians is difficult. Interviewing applicants is often stressful and unrewarding. 4. It is often stressful and unrewarding to interview applicants. 5. Speaking English is always useful when traveling abroad. Answer. It is always useful to speak English when traveling abroad. 6. It is never simple to move abroad. Answer. Moving abroad is never simple. 7. Thinking about danger is often illogical. 7. It is often illogical to think about danger. 8. It has been difficult to accept his death. Answer. Accepting his death has been difficult. 9. Flying to Africa will be great fun. Answer. It will be great fun to fly to Africa. 10. Working hard for so many years has been tiring for them. Answer. It has been tiring for them to work hard for so many years. Good. Now I will stop sharing for the remainder of class. We have 2 minutes left. And so basically, this is all I have today to present for this class, the gerund. And I hope it has been helpful. I know it was very heavy, full of information, but I mean, sometimes we just got to do that, get through it. And like I said, the most important part was handing out resources to the students and giving videos and good web pages, because if you don't have maybe an English grammar book to study this on your own, maybe sometimes it could be hard to find good resources online that have good examples, interesting examples, and I found these resources to be very helpful. So anyhow, yeah, if you ever would like to, oh, sorry, I have something in my eye. 1 second. I want to say that this class was requested by a student who said, hey, Stephanie, sometimes I have trouble forming the gerund, so it would be really cool to have a class on that. And I said, okay, well then I'll make you a class on that. So like I said, this class was requested, and I do this for my students. If you're ever in my class and you say, hey, I just need to learn more about prepositions, I just need to learn more about adjectives, whatever it is, you can let me know and I would be more than happy to make a group class on it. Or you could also schedule a private class to receive more help. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Stephanie. I'm a teacher here at Linguistiko, and I've been teaching for over 6 years. And I've been here with Linguistiko for a few months, and so I teach classes all the time. And you can check out my profile if you're interested. I have a video there that tells a little bit more about me. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in my future classes. That's all for now, and take care.